all excited. It's his first live.
All right. Welcome to the Reseller Roundtable for Thursday, the 16th of December. The topic tonight is going to be eBay goal setting tips for resellers in 2022, setting realistic, attainable goals. I'm Andy, the eBay contrarian. We have Scott. And
Scott. I'm Dumpster Diver Dad.
And I'm Alton, addicted to hustle.
Oh, God, that smell.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
hold on a second.
Hey, we're going to have to, obviously, this is why I still have to edit, guys.
Yeah,
this
exactly. You're going to have to note this on your thing. So,
it's
my TV randomly turned on. That's crazy. Yeah, I'm yours truly, Kevin from the Thrifting Lounge.
Sweet. Well, I'm glad you got your TV settled.
Yeah. So, what are we going to be discussing tonight, Andy?
Tips for setting realistic, attainable goals in 2022. And Kevin, do you want to start us off, or?
Sure. For us, we're going to be sitting down. We usually do a yearly reset our goals, relook at what we've done for the year. I do it even for my car insurance. It just I feel like it remotivates me. So like when I go back over, like, hey, we made this much this year, let's try to push it next year to 30% more minimum. If we can get to 50% more, that'd be great. 30% more would be awesome. And we already have a big store. We have 2,993 listings. And we're averaging about every month for the last 4 months, about 15% more each over the last 30 days. So our short-term goals would be morely of like monthly. Like I want to make sure we hit 11K again, like we did this month for the first time ever. I want to maybe in the next 2 months, because for clothing sellers, the busiest time for us is January through April. Maybe I can hit 12K. Because it's almost feels like yesterday that I was so excited I hit 10K. I basically skipped 10K and moved to 11K. I've had a bad last couple of days, so I'm back down to $9,500. But trying to stay positive. I know eBay's making some changes. I can tell that's why my store is a little slow right now. I don't know if it's the same with you guys, but I do know they're making some changes. So that is very frustrating because I know whenever eBay says the big word changes, we get hit hard. All of us do within the platform. But I'm sure it's going to be for good changes. Some of the changes they've been making lately have been for the good. I know now you can add a video to your store. So like you can make it personalized, like, hey, this is who we are. My store, which is Thriftoholic, yada, 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 whatever. But for the most part, short-term goals is what we're doing weekly, monthly, trying to jump up daily from $300 to $400 to $500 a day. What we're going to need to do to attain those, whether we're going to have to stay to 20 listens a day or jump to 25 and 30. I'm always talking to Brian because he has like double and a half more listens than I do. But we do about almost the same amount in sales. I'm a little less than, maybe like 15, 20% less than him. But I also have higher ticket items than he does too, which is nothing different. His old thing is he niches down. Me, I'm like a flea market. I sell everything. So for me, I know coming up for the first 4 months of next year, I'm going to be focused on clothing and then also golf clubs, because now is the time, and I'm so far ahead of the game compared to last year. I was just getting to sell at golf clubs last year, whereas this year I already got a bunch of stuff that's still listed. I have stuff I just bought that's going to sell for close to a couple $1,000 with like 3 sets of golf clubs I just bought. So I know in the next 4 months I'll be making. I'd be nice to hit 12, because I know when the golf club starts popping off and the clothing starts popping off at the same time of the year, it's going to be high ticket items. And then I'm just going to start reinvesting back more into golf clubs, because golf clubs starts becoming slow around the fall. So that's when I usually, I don't do too much into golf clubs when it comes to fall and into the winter, which they still do sell.
Kevin,
Long-term goal. Yep.
Oh, I was going to ask you. So, do you think that going into this year versus when you started last year, do you find yourself being more prepared going into 2022 with that golf season, knowing that it ends at a certain time through the year? Like, do you find yourself, hey, I'm ready. I'm more ready to start? Because remember, you were telling us how you started with a lower amount of money to flip it. So you kind of started there. So,
for me, I've only been doing full time since I've been back. I've done full time back like 2014, 2015, but I've only been full time back 8 months. So I only know from March, April on. So the first 3 months of the year, and I don't think I touched golf clubs the first 3 months of last year. So
well, I knew it was early, so I didn't know if it was right at that time. So I remember it was early.
Yeah.
I just didn't know if possibly do you feel like you came into the golf, what I call like the season, right? Like, do you feel like you came in on time, or did you come in late?
Oh, I came in right on time. I would say even a little tiny earlier.
Okay. Because my thought process would be golf, spring, people getting out, so they'd start buying early. So that's my thought process the season ahead. So I didn't know if going into January, would you be better set up now because of your listings when people were ready to buy? 100%. Instead of when you started late in say March, I feel like you might be 2 months behind and not even know it until you find out this year. You might not even know that you were behind.
Yeah, so. And I actually looked over what we've done for the year. And I really say 8 months for me, a full year for Ashley, only because I was working for the first 4 months of the year full time. And even though I was revving up, knowing I was going to quit my job, I still am missing that full time for the busiest part of the year for clothing sellers. So even though it says I've done $85,000 gross from January to December, really, I would attain that to go until end of April and saying, okay, my first full year. Because I feel like if I'm doing $11,000 and $10,000 now for the next 4 months, that's $126,000. That's a big difference from $86,000. So really, I feel like I have to redo my goals at the end of my first full year. Which if you ask anybody for their first full year, $126,000 is amazing. And about 60% of that's profit. I posted about it on my Facebook group. My girlfriend's mom thinks it's not enough between two incomes because I do have my girlfriend. But for me, it's like you have no clue what we do and what this entails and how hard we do. This isn't a 40-hour-a-week job, dude. This is 60, 70, 80 hours a week. This is eat, sleep, go to the bathroom, reselling. So if anybody thinks, and that's the thing is like a lot of people like YouTubers, they go out there and they tell you like, oh, I hit this, I do this. Yeah, well, you're not telling you the real YouTube, the people out there that 20, 25% of your sales are from viewers. Now take somebody like me who on and off, I've done YouTube, but you take somebody like me where 100% of my sales are from real people that I touch the item and send it to. So that's totally different. And even them, they're not even doing $80,000, $50,000, $60,000 a year because they're too busy doing YouTube. But when you're doing this full time, if you do it, eat, sleep, all of it, and you have the perfect employee, my girlfriend and partner, you're seeing it. Like I said, I'm expecting $120,000 after my first full year. Right now, January to December, so far we're at $86,000. And for somebody doing it their first year, even with it's you and your girlfriend, that's amazing to do. Like that, to think that you can grow that much in a year, and then it's like, well, wait till next year, right? Wait till next year, because next year, the year coming up, 2022, that's when it's going to be getting going. It's going to go good. Like I expect myself to do $200,000 gross, nothing less. And we're going to need to, especially because again, my goals is, and we talked about this in the private chat. My goals are being credit debt free. I'm $10,000 of credit card debt and loans, right? So I want that all gone by this time next year because I want to start doubling up my payments on my home. I want to start doubling up my payments on our car payments and and pay our insurance in full. Because when you pay your insurance in full every 6 months, it saves you about 25 to 30%.
Yep.
So when you're trying to be frugal and you're trying to save money, and reinvest, because remember, we're always reinvesting in ourselves and in our business. You want to save as much money as possible for a rainy day, So those are my goals so far this year.
Now, so I know you're talking about your year goals, Kevin. What about weekly goals? What do you have for your like January coming up? What's your first week of January coming up looking like?
Well, it's always going to be slow. Because you have that layoff, you have that layover. People start bringing their gifts back for money. Then they go to the stores January 1st, like me. Great time to be a reseller and go into the Dillards when they have their first of the year sale, and everything's basically half off the 70%. And you're talking about Ralph Lauren. You're talking about, major brands that they sell there, Lilly Pulitzer. And when you go there, you got to be there first in the morning before they even open up. And you got to hustle, man. Grab as much as you can. Kind of like Scott sees at the bins when you have people, the Dominicans, that come through with their big hands, and as soon as the bins come out, they don't care what they grab because they're going to look through it, and then they put everything else back. So that's kind of how you see it the first of the year. But for us, it's kind of slow. Like right now, it's since Sunday, it's been really, really slow. But again, I'm just staying the course, keep listing my 20 a day and then doing 10 relistings and just trying to do it. I still remember when me and Ashley, when we first started, when I decided to go full time, we were doing maybe 100, 150 a day. Right. And I was like, man, and Ashley's like, I can't wait to the days we have 300, 400, 500s. We didn't see any of that because we got banned on eBay for a whole month in the middle of June. That wiped us out for 4 months, right? Getting everything back up. 4 months it wiped us out, right? So $86,000 is probably really low for us compared to if we weren't banned. So, and now up until about a month and a half ago, right, guys? I've been telling you, we're at $350 to $400 on average a day. And I every time I say to Ashley, think back when you said it to us, 150 a day. You cannot wait till we get to $300 to $400 a day on average, and we're there. Now next year I want to be $500, $600, $700 a day, and that's what I mean by it's like a slow growth. It's like a stock, right? It always goes up and then it comes back, and then the backs go higher every time. So you go up, come back, you go higher, up, higher, back. It's just called pullbacks, and every pullback that's higher, that's what you want to see. Because you're going to have that. You're going to grow each and every month. Even if you say like every 2 months, 3 months, and you see like a 50 to 60 average per sale change, that's what you want to see. You don't want to see somebody who's just sitting around and like you start saying, like, oh my gosh, my sales. Because I'm my own worst enemy when it comes to that, kicking myself in the butt. But going back to what my girlfriend's mom was thinking, like, oh, well, 40 grand, after the taxes, 28 each, which is great for what I call myself. We're entrepreneurs because of what we do. So next year, I said to Ashley, I said, don't worry, wait till next year. We'll have the same conversation. We'll have the same conversation next year what they don't understand is when we're at 100 or 86,000 right now, right? They don't understand that next year it's like 20, 30, 40% more because it's a growth. It's not okay, this year's 86, next year's going to go down 70. No, not when you're putting inventory in there and you're consistently growing. It's 86 next year, 120 next year, 150 to 200,000. And that's what I'm saying. I said, Ashley, just relax. We'll have this conversation next year with her and see what she says.
28K after, all of your expenses are gone is different than having a 28K salary at a job.
Well, that's what we explained to her. It was 86,000 split both ways because we're one household, right? Split those, and then you do 60% on that, so it's 28. And then she's like, "Well, that's not a much." But I'm like, "Dude, like you're not seeing 43K, and that's not including 10K that I've made on other platforms, mainly Facebook Marketplace, and then the other one was Mercari. So you throw $5,000 in there, 60% of that, you're looking at $20,000 or $32,000 each first year full sum after everything. That's great right now in this economy where a lot of states are still shut down.
You say you eat and breathe it all day long. I mean, that's what I do for fun. I go out and I thrift and put the stuff that I find up on my eBay, and it's just amazing. But
and you've even seen the same thing for yourself, though, since you've joined the group with us, the private chat, right?
Yep.
When you have a group like this, it's kind of like a mastermind group, because we have all 5 of us have different ways that we sell, what we sell and how we're selling it. But the main goal is pushing each other to do more. And Andy, for example, you and Scott, how much have you grown since you've joined? Since Scott's taken this serious, and you, Andy, have you've already been full time for a while, but since fourth quarter hit, and you've been part of our group.
Yeah, I'm up. I was doing 3 to 5, 5 on a really good month, and now I'm in the 4 to 6 range, and
1,000, right?
6,000 a month.
Yeah.
So you're already 25% profit ahead of where you were even a month or so in.
Yep.
Imagine where we'll be in a year. I can't wait. So going on top of that, talking about growth, I know we were talking about it in the back of the chat, but like even for me, Brian, who's not on the show tonight, he is a big stickler of the consistency platform, right? So for me, going into 2022, can you believe that it's 2022? But
I know.
I am really I have slacked off a little bit through the holiday, trying to enjoy some of this holiday time. But I really want to see if on my father's account for him that he can be truly consistent at that 5 items a day. I think that's just a perfect margin, especially when his average sale is at $37. So talking about the short-term goal, I think that's even for me, even on Amazon, even if it's listing 5 items a day on Amazon, I don't know how much that matters on Amazon as far as the algorithm. I think it's just hitting the buy box. I don't think it really matters when you put your items in, but I think consistency matters no matter what you're doing. But since he's going to have a goal of 18,000 minimum to 20,000 due to his retirement, I'm going to go a little bit above it because I don't have to worry about that. So I'm going to put my Amazon goal this time when we talk next year at 25K on Amazon. Since my other options are kind of limited right now, I want to just focus on that. And so we'll compare eBay to Amazon. Well, I'm doing Amazon right now, so we're already at 11K. So on Amazon, so a little bit more than a double. So which is very feasible. I mean, especially if we're focusing on sourcing more video games. I know Scott was talking about how we're really going to double down coming up on video games. And me and Scott really aren't competition. Even though we would be in the same market, we're not competition to each other, because he'll be like, "Hey, what do you think we need to sell this for?" And I'm gonna be like, "Oh, well, the buy box says this. Put it right in there, and I'll go right above you." So I'm not competing, but I'll be next in line. So I think it's all about how your teamwork, and I think this group is really helping us see how we're benefiting each other.
That's real important on Amazon too, where people try to bid on price and they just kill the product off.
Right.
I'm not ready for that. I don't want to see that go. But yeah, for me, it's just more consistency and setting the year goal. Because my aspect of it is, if I set a year goal, I'll divide that in a month, by 12 months, and figure out what I need to hit that month. And then every month reassess and go, am I doing enough, or am I doing more than enough, to kind of gauge my process and engage what we're doing. So, but I think that first step is being consistent in 5 items a day. So
there you go.
Go ahead, Scott.
Oh, I was just gonna start off with that's pretty cool, Alton, that you get to do that, and you get to help your dad.
Absolutely.
It's all about helping other people, and like Kevin was saying, we're helping each other in the group. And Kevin was dead on, since I took the group seriously and the eBay seriously. Now I still do Amazon, and I love Amazon because it gives you so much more options. But eBay has been a blessing in my life for, especially in December, because I've had some nice sales, not really, I guess, semi home runs, but that has helped me do things beyond what I do because I'm part-time like Alton. So I get to do my job in the morning. I get to source in the morning and then come home and list. And so there's great things that you can do. Now, I sold a book yesterday for $62 on Amazon, which I wouldn't be able to sell that for anything close to that on eBay. So there's definitely and the video games that I sourced, I get to sell those on both platforms now. Fortunately, they've been selling quicker on eBay because I get my money quicker on eBay, because I do daily payouts. So all that stuff has been a blessing for this time of year. And this morning I got to go home early because my son, the youngest one, his daycare was wiped out because of COVID in the classrooms. So they're not going to go back to school or back to class for a week. But I have the flexibility both at my part-time job, which I love, and eBay to slack off or also hit it full throttle like Brian does and consistently list 25 items a day. So I just wanted to add those 2 cents into that subject. So
there's no doubt that the time freedom aspect of it is kind of a lifesaver at times. I mean, if I was working a corporate job right now, I would never see my kids. They would be with their mom all the time. And I'm really, really thankful for that. So the next thing I was going to touch on, me and Kevin
I wanted to touch on my goals. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Andy, you too. I don't think we heard about your goals.
I'm going to be brutally honest. I'm not real good at setting, tangible written down goals. But what I do a lot is reverse engineer based on my stats. And if, like 5,000 a month was kind of a target goal for me once I couldn't do Uber and Lyft anymore. And at that point in time, my average sale was about $20. And then I charge for my shipping above and beyond that. So, I can use my average sale to figure out, to get to 5,000, you divide 5,000 by 20, and that gives you the number of items. And then you just figure out how many you need to do a day. So if you're just starting out, you may want to set a goal for, how can I make my car payment by selling things on eBay? Or, honestly, for most people, it would not be hard at all to pay your house payment you'll have to wait a little bit starting out, especially if you're starting a new account because they hold your money. But if you know what your average sale is and you know where you want to be, you just divide the one by the other, figure out the number of items, and then you go out and source what you need for each day and list it. And it works out. If you're using your numbers to assist you, it'll make it easier to set goals.
Mm-hmm. So my 2022 goals is I started my store July 17th, and it's almost been 6 months. Tomorrow will be 6 months, and I'm about 12,000 for. I think I showed you all in the private chat.
Yep.
12,000 for the 6 months. So that in the 90 days though, it's like 9.5, 9.3, 9.5, which proves that in the short term you could really grow a store fast. And I think eBay does like new sellers, and I think your dad's new store is getting a bump from that. But there's out of the 9,000, I've gone down about 25% in December, like Kevin was saying, but my sales have been a little slower, but I know those are going to pick back up in January. So in the next 6 months, I'm not going to do the full year yet. I'm going to do 6 months. The next 6 months, I'm going to have my 9,000 to 10,000 a month goal like Kevin does each month. So in the next 6 months, I want to do it. Instead of 9,000 for 3 months, I want to do it every month. And that's going to take me about another 6 months to do. But I think I could get there. I've been really sourcing a lot of great items and reinvesting that money back into the store. So I've been finding vintage shirts. I've been finding bread and butter items, and so I've been pouring all those things in my store. With I don't do clothing. I do video games. I do hard goods. I do a bunch of little other things, but I've been sourcing a lot of home runs with clothing lately.
You have hit some home runs with that.
Yeah. So, I think on my what sold, Andy gave me a bolo on one of them. That's going to be my sell for this week. But there is some crazy, and I just sold a golf bag because Kevin was talking about a golf bag. So I showed him one the other day, and that sold for $100 and something. So
you already sold that?
Yeah, I already sold that, and that'll
Didn't
be
I tell you?
Yeah, that'll be next
Mizuno
week's.
one?
Yep, I told them. I said that thing will sell.
Yeah, used Mizuno vintage
Mizuno.
Bag. I paid $6, and so I got over 100 for that. So, but shipping because it went to Florida, so shipping did kill me on that. So,
how much did you pay to ship? So, I have a bunch of YouTube videos for shipping I need to upload that Ashley does. She does the shipping, and then I have to have her do voiceovers. But one of it is shipping a golf bag. Mm-hmm. We can get our golf bags. How much did yours weigh?
It was 11 pounds because it was the heavy ones.
Did you pay less than like $30?
I paid more than $30. I paid 35.
Not bad. So that's not bad. How much did they pay for shipping?
They paid $19.99, so I was a little.
Oh man, I could have told you.
I did.
You should have asked me. I would have helped you.
Yeah, I did lose on shipping, but I only paid $6 for the item, so it's still a home run. So
yeah, that's a great
take
sale,
that money and run. But
I told you. Remember before you should get into golf stuff. I told you that before. Get into golf stuff. But you're in the perfect area for it.
I am in California here. There's lots of great golf courses and a lot of great, especially with hats and stuff like that. But so that's my next 6 months goal is to do 10K every month, and then for Amazon I'm going to be sourcing. I'm going to zag when everybody's zigging. I'm going to go a little bit different. I am going to do the video games that are light to ship in and stuff like that. But I'm going to do Amazon has a program called Small and Light, and I'm going to do that, and I'm going to do volume on Amazon instead of going for the home runs with the video games, of course. So, right now my average is $20 for each sell, and I've almost hit 400. I haven't yet. I thought I would do it today, but I'm still under 400 sales for the quarter, so 390 something. And I want to double that. So I want to raise my ASP because I'm finding these home runs, and I want to do 400 within a month and a half every month and a half. So
what do you need to do to go full time?
I'm not going full time. No. I'm still not going full time. I think I talked to you a little bit about this in the chat, though. I know I talked to Alta about this, but I talked to you, Kevin,
I know it's hard to take you out. It's hard to take you out of the CIA, man. And go full time.
But the HOA I work for, my friend that I work for, she's always had my back, and I'm happy with where I'm at. So I'm going to definitely use best of both worlds. I got that steady paycheck coming in that pays the rent and the mortgage and everything else, and then I have the fun money with going out and sourcing and selling and stuff like that. But I'm finding those $100 home runs from the bends, and they're not costing me that much. So
I mean, I agree with Scott here, because this is how I think when we all look at as a group how we push each other, right? We all bring different aspects of the reselling game and environment. Kevin, you being full-time, Andy full-time, even Brian. But me and Scott being part-time, if you look at the backstory of why me and Scott are still part-time, is because of the stability that we are blessed to say we have. So even with my job, it wouldn't make sense for me to trade a job that I make more than you clear for your profits last year on first year. And the fact is, I'm flexible. So I'd be giving up a paycheck to earn a paycheck when I can still do my job remotely. Like, there's so much beauty inside stability. And that's the one thing I don't want people to forget is I'm not going to push anybody to go full time. if that's a goal of yours, great.
Mhm.
But if you want to make the extra money, that's what we're here for. And if one day it exceeds your expectations and you can take the leap, great. But I'm never going to tell someone they got to go full time in order to be successful.
If I hit the Powerball and it's up to 320 million, I think it is this week, then I will quit after that. But until then, I don't think I will do it for a while. But yeah,
that's what I did. I loved my job at my insurance job, but then Ashley started noticing little changes in me. Every day, just not being more happier than the day before. But when she saw me out doing thrift and she saw how happy I was, even though she was doing it full time. And I always said to myself, once my income from reselling starts taking over my regular job, or I can find it out if they give me an out, then I'm going to make that change. And I did it. And that's because this is what I want to do. Like since I was a kid, man, I want to say 15, 16 years old, I said to myself, and I'd love to sell on eBay for a living. How do they do it? No joke. That and car sales. And I did both of them. I did both of them really well. It was really good car sales because I'm a people person. I can talk. I can conversate. I can connect well with people. And it's a lot of psychology. So same thing with eBay for me was like, I always want to do eBay. That too. Those were either that or car sales. And I did car sales and I was like, let's try eBay now. So I had no clue about thrifting and making money until I was selling cars. And a guy told me, you never gone to the thrift to buy designer clothing. I'm like, what do you mean? What are you talking about? What? And then we went one day. I was like, whoa, what? There's some money in here.
But if you remember 8 months ago or 10 months ago, even Kevin, you had that stability then, and then all of a sudden it was gone. Poof, your stability, your job was gone.
And this goes to me, what I was saying to Ashley and about, basically Ashley's mom. I'm not your normal person. I've never been cut out for a regular job. That's why since I was 17 years old, I've been on commission and a little bit of base pay, right? A little bit tiny versus my commission. But that's just me. I've learned to have it all and then lose it all and know exactly where I need to be back again to have it all again. And it's a struggle, but to me, it's fun. When you have it all 3 different times and then you lose it all, it only becomes easier. It's like getting back on a horse. And some people who have it all and lose it all, they don't know what to do. And I feel bad for those people because it's people like me. It's like, dude, watch this. Hold my beer. I'll hang on by my I'll hang on the edge of my seat and you're along for the ride, because that's exactly how I've always been. You can ask Ashley. I've always been a person to wander off like squirrel, but I've also known to be the best at what I do. Because that just comes out naturally to me. I am like an engineer brain. Like I got to learn everything from the inside out. And that's how I am with eBay, YouTube, my old job, even car sales. I was Ford, Lincoln, Mercury master certified in sales for all 3 of those categories. And only 5% of the people in the country were before I even hit the floor to sell a car. So that just tells you that like I have no problem losing it all because I know what I need to do to get it back. So like a lot of people, Scott, Alton, I know you guys have comfy jobs. I'm sure I wouldn't, but we're different brains.
Right.
Well, I love living like this.
Well, okay. So the only comparison I would say with your job, Kevin, and this is one big thing with mine's not a private sector job. Mine is a state federal back job that gives me better longevity down the road to retirement.
Like, of course, I'm not saying anything wrong with that. I'm happy for you, dude.
Right. No. So I guess one of my biggest, when you talk numbers, right? So if I was to go out on my own and get my health insurance the way it is in this market, you're talking $300-$400 a month. Do you want to know how much I pay a month in health insurance with vision?
Probably like
dental?
$40.
Like $47 a month. So you're telling me
you can't beat that.
If I walk away from the job, not only am I losing an income, but I'm costing myself $300 to $400 a month just to have something that I'm required to have. There's a lot more money at stake for me to leave than say someone in a private sector.
Do you know what that tells me though?
What's that?
Our healthcare system's messed up. We all should be able to pay that much for healthcare and have the same benefits that you do. but we don't. We should have the
Right.
same health benefits as your local politician, your governor, your president,
Right.
but we don't.
No, I totally agree with you. That's not the point. I'm just saying when people want to understand us as individuals on the show, I think they need to see they need to hear the bigger picture of why me and Scott want to stay with our jobs, because we're in a different situation, whether it's our flexibility to be there for our families, being able to work when we need to, or like I am blessed. If I say in the morning, guys, I'm not going to be there with my crew until 10:30. I don't have to be there till 10:30, but I might stay till 5:00, or I'll get there at 8:00 in the morning and I'm out at lunch. It's just the flexibility to me is almost priceless, and you have to take that into account.
Oh, of course. And like I said, we all have different brains. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So we're all wired. I could never be wired for a government job. I just couldn't. And I've learned towards the end of my regular career before I retired, and I call it retirement because this is a dream job, is that the more you work for the man, the more control they have over you. They give you only enough to get by. They never want to see you exceed over them. When you're talking about, like you said, the private sector, right? We're talking about, they give you just enough to get by. An education, they pay for certain things. You do something now, they don't even pay for you to move sometimes.
Well, I'll tell you that, the private sector can be profitable in the short term, but it's not beneficial for you in the long term. So I think we need to address what people are looking for when you're talking about different minds. That is, are you a short-term minded person or are you a long-term? And the way we talk, Kevin, you're a long-term minded. Yeah, you are a squirrel a lot of times. Oh, squirrel, we know that. But I think you are still set into that long-term, where am I going to be in 10 years by doing this on my own? And yes, you're right. You will eventually supersede anything that we're doing and be happy. But that's because that's your brain's allowing you to do that over the course and you have the stability now that most people wouldn't have in their full time if they're
No, they
reselling.
wouldn't.
So
no.
It's just all about perspective. And I think that's what we bring to this show, is that we have different perspectives. So,
and not one of them is wrong.
Right.
No, exactly.
I know you can't the crap, but
you can't force somebody to wear your shoes if it's not their size.
Absolutely.
But eBay, selling on eBay does give you flexibility. You can do it when you want, start when you want, stop when you want, and then also go in and list when you want, or source when you want, or whatever fits in your schedule. So that's one of the great things about eBay, and as a reseller, you can do that. So I'm glad I'm able to do both. I'm loyal to because I have a contract, that I'm loyal to my boss, quote unquote boss, but she's been, I've been there 9 years, and as me and Kevin were talking about last night, loyalty goes a long way. And I know she has my back, and I know I have her back, and she may lose the contract for the HOAs tomorrow, and I'll be fine. I'll survive, of course. And like Kevin, I'm a fighter. I've had nothing, started out with nothing, been divorced, and had nowhere to live, and then came back, and where I'm at now, I'm happily married almost a year, and going on and doing the things that I need to do responsibly, and do stuff like that, and also I have my kids full time, on top of that.
Awesome. Joe Rogan has the perfect quote that you just almost said. He says, we as humans like stories. And he said, the stories I like the most is that people that had it all and lost it all, and they figured out how to get it back again. Those are the best stories. You become a fighter.
Yeah, like I was saying before about reverse engineering from your numbers. Once you learn the stuff that we learn out in the field, sourcing things, all you have to do is just continue to find those things. I'm selling the same 15 to 20 brands, just selling them over and over again. When I go out to source, I know exactly what I'm looking for, and I go and grab it. And every now and then I'll find a unicorn. And you can't take that kind of knowledge away from a person. And that's why Kevin, that's why you did bounce back when you lost it.
If it wasn't for for starting out and doing this and learning so much when I started out doing YouTube with Ronnie Hart, Steve Rake, and all of them. I don't think I would have learned so much so quickly because it's other resellers showing you and seeing what they were doing and constantly watching what they were doing. And for 2 years, man, that was bad. Like from 2000, after I quit eBay and YouTube, and for 2 years straight, after I left my kid's mom, she cheated on me, and I left one day. I was like, I'm out. I left everything. I left my inventory. I left my YouTube channel. My last video I did had 55K, and I was done with everything because I was just, so in a way I lost it all. And then it took my sister saying, hey, I'll give you $100 a week and you can stay at my house 3 times a week and you can clean my toilets. You can clean the upstairs and downstairs and you'll have food and you'll have a place to stay. I took it from that to my brother-in-law saying, hey, listen, I need you to babysit the 2 employees I have at the Allstate job. To, hey, do you want to get your license? To me literally telling my manager at the new Allstate saying, hey, listen, and this all happened in a matter of 6 months. Hey, listen, I'm right for a sales job. This is who I am. I'm not a pay per hour person. I said, you give me that chance and I will never let you down. 2 years straight, I was the #1 salesman for Allstate in Central Florida. No joke. It's just natural to me. It's selling stuff and being a hustler is exactly like what we do on eBay. Marketing, selling. That's all it is. And if you can do this, you can do anything. If you can be good at eBay, you can do good at anything.
So, guys, we are starting to come close to that magic 45-minute mark.
Absolutely.
And do we want to show or what solds?
Yep.
I'm going to show what I sourced because I found a Ronnie Hart unicorn the week after we talked to him.
Well, I don't see him watching, but you'll have to send the video.
Yep, no doubt.
Well, I mean, I can share mine. This is technically I'm going to share this thing while I talk here. This is one I would have shared last week if I was on the show with Ronnie. But my scheduling conflict. So
how do I
click at the bottom down there and you should be able to click the link and then bring to the forward. Like you should be able to bring it to the show. Just like you would one of us for the camera.
And the stream.
Backstage. Yep. There you go.
Okay, so I picked this up at the bins. It was brand new. So those liquidation bins where you have like $10 day, $8 day, it's Amazon liquidations. I found 2 of these brand new in the box, Zombie Strike crossbows from Nerf. Paid $8 a piece for them. I listed them that Saturday night. On Sunday, they sold for $45 for one of them. So plus shipping, and I made like $2 on shipping. So I'm already waiting on the next one to sell. I had an offer, but I know what they're worth, so I'm not going to take anything less than $40 for it because I'm already in the profit now. I can afford to hold on to the next one. But that's my sell because it sold quick. And that was actually the best return on investment that I've had. Most of the rest of them are small sales and things like that. So, but yeah, it being a Nerf Zombie Strike for $45, watch out for Nerf. I think it's going to do well.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So who wants to go next?
I'll go next. Let me
ready?
Share screen. Share. Yeah, if you bring me in, yep, there we go. This is an Alton special, I'll call it. This came from the bins. I really I went through it once, through all the bins. There's about 30 bins, and I went back through the bins to see before I left, because I usually spend about an hour there. And this little jacket is from Amazon. And the drivers, from what Alton says, they need these jackets and they only get one, so they need a couple other ones. But $110. Now, this was going to go to a landfill if I didn't pick it up because nobody else was picking it up. They were about ready to take this bin back to go into they take it to a big warehouse and then send it out, shred it. And so I saved this from the dumpster, I guess, and made $110 off it plus shipping. Was the first class even, was really light, so it's first class. So that was my sale of the week. And then also I'm going to plug in for Macari for the week before, because this was the Utah Jazz starter jacket, and it sold for $119, and the fees are shorter on there, or not as bad as on eBay. So I made $103 on that jacket because they paid for shipping on top of that. So and the customer was super happy when they received it. So.
And it's pretty light too. So
no, that one, the on Macari, they pay for it by weight, and so the customer just paid the weight for it to go to Utah.
But I mean, when you sourced it, you paid by weight, right?
Yeah, I paid probably about $2.50 because it was over a pound. So it was probably about $2.50, maybe $3 on the high end, and then the Amazon jacket was under a pound, so that was $1.50. For that one, and then I got a vest, Amazon vest, that was sold for $30. So yeah, all those things. So if Macari wants to send me some of that Macari money and sponsor me, and then I'll definitely hop on that platform. But those were my two sales for last 2 weeks. The Utah Jazz one 2 weeks ago, and then this one, because we didn't do any whatsoever last week.
Yeah.
But how much did you sell the Mizuno for?
I have to look at it. It was $150, I think it was, and then $20 shipping. So it's like $170. That'll be in next week's what's all, unless something trumps that.
Oh, okay.
So.
All right.
So yeah, but I paid $6 for that golf bag at the Benz also, and that was just sitting there on top of it. Nobody wanted it, and then I grabbed it and sent a text over to Kevin and said, "Hey, should I get this?" And he's like,
I was like, "Yeah, dude, you haven't got it already? Grab it. It's a staff bag."
So thank you, Alton. And thank you, Kevin.
You're welcome.
Awesome.
All right.
Absolutely.
I got mine lined up. Yep. Let me know when it's up.
It is up.
All right. So I got this for $5. This actually sold pretty quickly for a suit. I had it for about 3 weeks. And I've been going through some of my suits and raising the prices quite a bit. And this was one of them that I raised from 60. And then I always have a 40% off sale. As you see, 40% off. I always run a sale every single day, 40% off. So it's nothing new. So I actually got double than what I originally had it up for. And I don't know if it's just they think the quality or if people just price their things highest to lowest when they're searching. But between this and the Zegna, I made $140 in the Zegna and $120 on this. But the Zegna was a few weeks back. And this was a great sale.
Yep, I think people probably do sort by highest to lowest on suits because they want to, for lack of a better word, get the crap out of the way and look at the stuff where the person knows that what they have has value.
Yeah, well, I gotta stop sharing this. I was looking because every now and then I try to snipe like vintage horror movie T-shirts or vintage television and movie T-shirts and band T-shirts. And I was looking at this one, I don't know which one it was, but it was a vintage movie worth a couple $100. And I said, and it was bidded at like 20. And I said, "Hey, can you get me the measurements, please?" Because I had no measurements. And he only had 3 feedback. And he never got back to me with the measurements. And I was like, I passed on it. Like, it's little things like that will make you lose a lot of money in sales. So you always want to have the measurements. You always want to answer your questions on time because there is a lot of buyers out there that are willing to buy somewhere else.
I'll tell you, with my sport coats and suits, I do what Steve Rakin said to do in his Blazer course, and I get a fair amount of returns on clothing, but I very rarely ever get a return on a sport coat or a suit.
Same here. Yeah. And you'll find that most of the returns are like T-shirts and stuff that are under like $25. They're like super cheap items, or pants that are under $25. It's the expensive stuff that, knock on wood, you don't see a lot of returns on.
All righty, let me get my share up here.
Oh, I think
There you go.
There we go.
There we go.
So this is my sale. It actually went for $49.95. I'd sold this about a month ago, and then about a week and a half ago, the person said that it didn't fit her daughter, and I just got it back yesterday and relisted it. Got a watcher after 4 views and sent out the same offer, $49.95, and it's got the big E. It's designed to look like the old Type 3 Levi's trucker jacket that's a unicorn. But while I was out sourcing 2 days ago, I found this. It's a Polo Ralph Lauren suicide leather downfilled jacket. And we talked to Ronnie last week. Go ahead, Kevin.
Yep. Now, for people that are listening on the podcast and not video, why don't you explain what the suicide skier looks like and what it is?
Yep. So it's soft. It's soft tan leather, and then it's got a black body. And it's filled with down. It's downlined, kind of like a puffer on the inside. And then it's got a little crest logo on one arm that says Ralph Lauren, and then it says Polo in 1967 and 1990, and it's got a guy on skis. And if you find anything Polo or Ralph Lauren that's got ski associated with it, it's money. And I've got this listed for $799.95. I paid $85 for it. And there's one up right now that the person doesn't have it listed correctly, and it's like $150, 3 bids. So somebody's probably going to buy that and relist it, and snipe it. But it's sold, this exact jacket sold in September for $500. I got it listed at $799.95. I sent out an offer at $575. The guy didn't buy it, but it's only been up for 2 days.
Yeah,
and I really don't think it's going to last too terribly long. But it's the nicest Ralph Lauren item that I've ever found.
it's
I found
beautiful.
some cool
That's
stuff.
nice,
That was a nice jacket. The Levi jacket was nice too, like Val said.
Yeah, the Sherpa lined.
Yeah,
That is beautiful, though.
It's got it's a little dirty in spots, but the one that sold for $500, the person called it patina instead of dirt. So that's what I think that's what I did.
Patina.
Yeah, patina. Yeah.
Patina.
Patina. You say patina, I say patina.
Yeah. No, you say You said
You just turned it on you.
patina. I said patina.
Yeah, well, I'm mildly dyslexic.
It's okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's probably the coolest clothing item that I've ever found, and I've found some pretty cool stuff.
Very cool.
I sold a while back, and it's one of those things where you buy something, you hold on to it, and then like you sell it high, and you expect it because you just want it to sit. It was a Yves Saint Laurent leather jacket, the same color as that, but it was an Indiana Jones kind, right? And it had crackling everywhere on it. So it had the patina.
Patina.
And it's on my Instagram. You can see me wear it on my Instagram from a while back. It's like a year and a half ago. But I sold that sucker for $299. And I was so bummed because I wanted to still keep that thing. But I could tell it was starting to ripple. The crackling on it started, the piece started, some of it started like rippling. But I was very surprised when I bought that for $350.
That's crazy.
But there you go. Look at that hat.
I just found this.
There's Indiana Jones.
It's
nice.
It says it's the fold-up hat from Minnetonka, and I ain't got it listed yet, but I'll get like $35 for it. I paid $6.
Is it leather?
Yeah, it's leather. It's sharp.
You should be getting more than $35 for that.
Yeah, I mean I researched it and found the exact item, and it was like $35.
How many are out there though?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll put it up at like $49.95.
That's what I'm saying. Dude, I have no problem. Like that's what I did with that Andy Irons Billabong t-shirt. I had people, there was not another one out there. Andy, if anybody knows surfing, Andy Irons has been dead. He's one of the greatest surfers of all time. And so even though it was from the mid 2000s, it says 2-time champ. So I put that sucker up for $100. Everybody else was listing similar kinda for like $20, $25. And I'm like, nah, listed up for $100. I sold it for $79. Just because that's just me. Like I have no problem taking some items and throwing them up there for super expensive money and seeing if it sticks and taking a best offer of whatever.
It looks like Clay's been hustling too. He's out there taking $600 from going to the local store and selling it. So I'm sure he's going to Buffalo Exchange or whatever. But yeah, he's killing it with that. That's awesome. That's a good day. I know.
Yeah, I mean, if you can turn in money like that, then why list it? If you could consistently do that.
Yeah.
That's what people from the bins do too. They come in and they take it to the exchange stores because they'll get their money that day, so it's easy. They'll sit in line for an hour waiting for them to get their money. But it's a great way to, turn a profit quickly. You're doubling your money or tripling your money, I'm sure. So congrats to you, Clay.
Definitely.
And Clay, thanks for the Auction Andy idea.
Yeah, there you go.
That's awesome. That's what I haven't changed it, but I'm gonna.
There you go. Clay's full of good ideas.
Yeah.
He is. We keep him around.
Yep.
Alton, why don't you send us home and tell everybody where they can find us and look for us in the future?
All right. So going forward again, we are going to be eventually moving over to the Reseller Roundtable YouTube channel. That's where we'll be starting live starting at the beginning of the year. So we only have a couple more lives between everybody individual channels. And I don't think we have decided, are we doing the 1 week before Christmas? Are we doing
that? No, we're going to do it on January 1st.
No. I mean, as far as the shows, we still haven't really talked about the week of Christmas. I figured we would since it's a Thursday. Really doesn't interfere with much of what everybody's doing. I hope. But anyway, I'll be in Kansas the last podcast of the year. I'll be down there visiting family. So we'll be hanging out. So we might have a guest or two sitting next to me hanging out. You never know.
Oh, that's awesome. But, I'll have my mom next.
What was that? Was it your niece you were telling us about the other day? Yeah, so, that's awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so that's like I tell you, I attribute my life to being around because of her. But I'll be spending time with family. But other than that, you can definitely follow us on Spotify. We are on Apple Podcasts and also Google Cast. And if there's any other ones that y'all know of, make sure you feel free to comment. And that's if you want to listen to us on. But we've hit the major platforms and it's doing pretty well. I am trying to finish up. I am a little behind on editing. So I have to get the episode out before the Ronnie Hart special last week for the interview. I should have that up by, what's today? I don't even know what today is. Thursday? Yeah, today's Thursday. So I should have that up by Sunday. And then I'm going to upload directly the Ronnie Hart video uncut because that was too long to edit. So, but other than that, and we'll get editing this one and get back on pace to end out the year. But other than that,
I think next week is my channel. So next week we'll do my channel, and then we'll go out to the new year to the new channel. So
absolutely,
I think we got to do Brian one more time, right?
Probably
if he wants to, we could have Brian. Yep.
Yeah, Scott and Brian are going to finish out the year for us.
Yep.
So other than that, I think we're good to go. As long as you make sure hey, anybody who tunes in later, make sure you follow Andy on his eBay Contrarian page. He might be changing his name to Auction Andy, but we'll see here soon.
Yeah, I think
that's great videos. Yes.
Yep, I think I'm going to definitely do that because it's easier to say, "Hey, go look for Auction Andy." Than
there you go. Yep.
The first thing I hear is, "How do you spell contrarian?"
And I also heard that Scott may be changing his name to Ben's Hunter Dad.
Yeah, we'll see what goes. That doesn't roll off the tongue, but it is a new name change in the works for the new year for sure. So we will see.
All right, fellas. Well, we will see y'all next week, fellas.
We kept it under. Guys. We kept it under 60 minutes, 59 minutes and 38 seconds.
I appreciate that.
See y'all.
All right, guys. We'll see y'all later.